Okay, back again. Right, now what I've done this time, since the last video, as you imagine from the last video, we identified a RAM chip that was potentially faulty. So what I've done is, as you can see, I've taken the RAM chip out, put a socket in, and I've put another RAM chip in place, and this is 7N, okay? There's the old RAM chip, which I've cut out, as you can see. So there's no damage to the board looks good, it's got a new socket in it, and I've reinstated the pin that I snipped on one of these I/O buffers just to make sure it's back as it was. I've actually plugged in the daughter board this time because I want to see what happens with some ROM this time. So we'll go up to the tester and we'll do the same again. The board's powered up, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do a map on it and see what happens. Let's get the map coming up again. We go down the list, got the ROM here, and then we've got the RAM which we had before, the video RAM at 5000 we had before, but now we're actually getting RAM at address 4000 and it's green, which indicates it can read and write. Now remember the last time we did the map on this board, it was showing it as red, write only, or possibly bad. So that's a good sign. It looks like something might be happening here. So what we'll do is we'll check that RAM, since it's showing it up now, write address 4000, and we'll go a RAM test. 100, which is 2K, and it's testing that RAM. Now this RAM, it's actually failed it. Okay, well we're not out of the woods yet with it, but at least it's doing something a bit better. But more importantly, let's have a look and see if it can read the ROM space. It could be the RAM chip I've put in is a bit iffy. It's very possible. So let's go back to address 0, which is where the ROM is, and we're going to read in, let's do, say, some more bytes, this time FF. Remember the last time it was all F0s and F whatevers. So we do that. Oh, now as you can see, this time it seems to be reading data correctly. So although it's got a RAM chip and we've changed the RAM chip, it's now reading the ROM right. So we obviously were on the right tracks there. And what we can actually do is we can do that back to 0, and we can type the stuck in this time as well. And that will check for any stuck bits, but looking at it, it looks like it's okay. Oh, there you go. So they're all green this time. So that tells me I've got rid of the stuck bits on the data bus. It's reading the ROMs, but we still have that RAM that might be a problem. Now it's obviously detecting the RAM, because when it detects the RAM it only looks at the first byte or two. It doesn't check the full RAM. When you do a RAM test, it obviously goes and checks all the addresses of that RAM. So it's very possible that that RAM chip I put in is maybe iffy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the video and then find another RAM chip. I'm also going to plug in some graphic ROMs into it, and we'll then put the processor back in and put it on the screen and see what happens, just out of interest. Okay, so I'm going to stop at the moment and then I'll be back in a second. Okay, before I plug the processor and things back in, this is me starting it up again. I've simply just quickly changed the RAM chip for another one that I had. I've taken the one out I put in because I thought it might have been suspect, and this time it's actually passing the RAM, as you can see. Just to prove it does do it again, I'll just do RAM test. 100. I've already set the address to 4000, which is where the RAM was. And you see it's going through it this time round. There you go, so it's passing. So it was obviously a bad RAM chip that I put in. That's fine. Right, I'm going to stop the video now and I'm going to put the graphics ROMs in, the processor in, and put it on the screen and see what happens with the board. Alright, so I've put some graphic ROMs in now. I've got the processor back in. I've powered it all up, but unfortunately it's not good news because I'm still getting that on the screen, which is not great. So it's not booting up still, but at least we know that it's now got memory okay, there's no stuck bits and it's reading the ROMs. So I'm going to have to go back into the tester and plug it back in and then poke around and see why it's not booting up. But at least we're getting somewhere with it, so there'll be another video obviously after this which will be going on from where I've left off with this. But we've now fixed the stuck bits, we've now got it reading ROM, we've got the RAM tested. But clearly there's something still not right here, so we need to look into that and see what's going on. Okay.